Hey, welcome to Age of Reason. Today is Sunday, August 10, 2014. We tried to be a live stream show, didn't really work out. So now we're just recording and it's going to go straight to YouTube. So this is Age of Reason. We are a show that promotes, amongst other things, positive atheism, as well as knowledge, common sense, that kind of stuff. Maybe secular thinking, I suppose, would classify it very well. So my name is JC. Today with me is Drew Kruk from Australia. Kind of lucky to have you here today, since you're leaving the country in a while.
It's good to be here. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for inviting me on your show, and I hope to have a bit of fun for the next. How long are we here for? Let's forget about it. Let's just talk.
Let's just talk. Okay. Yeah, let's go straight into it. Yeah. So I'm gonna just plug in a few things very quickly. First, so we have an email address which is tv-ageofreason@tv-ff.com. This email is for people to use in case they want us to discuss something specific on the show. Like if you want us to discuss some specific passage of the Bible, we can do that. Or any other thing. We are a show not just about religion, but also about politics, nature, many topics. Mostly religion, though, I do have to say. If you want to join our page, that happens at facebook.com/agereason. And there's other links there to Twitter and to our official website, where we will upload this episode and all the episodes that will follow. The other thing I have to plug in is my documentary called Requiescat in Pace. It's a feature-length documentary where I discuss pretty much the big religions of the world and how their relevance in modern society, or their irrelevance at times. We are not done yet, but conservative estimate expected by winter. Basically, it needs a lot of work still, especially audio. So, anyway, I'm kind of an agnostic atheist. I grew up in Russia for a while. Russia is a country that gets punched a lot right now by many countries, sometimes with good reasons. And the problem with Russia is that people there usually are unable to accept any responsibility, unfortunately. So just to kind of, quicken the pace, do you have any specific questions about Russia in particular?
It just looks cold. I'm from Australia, by the way. In my hometown, it's 30 degrees. 25 degrees is the average temperature, and the coldest it gets is about 4 degrees in my suburb, and the hottest, it's almost paradise perfect. Russia is so far away from me personally that it just looks cold and miserable. I don't know how anyone gets a smile. It gives me a lot of happiness watching those crazy vodka YouTube videos that are all over the internet right now. I have just recently Googled what Russia is all about religion-wise, and it seems to be, it's a very large country in mass. So you've got a large population, but they're spread out so far that you've got so many religions, and which is a little bit like Australia. Australia has people from all over the world, and mainly Christians, you'd say, but we've got a lot of Greek people in the 50s and Italians. So we're a big mix of all kinds of Christianity too. So I can only imagine it's something like that, but colder.
Yeah. There's a lot of cold, definitely. In Russia, the main religion is Russian Orthodox Church, and they have a pretty good stranglehold still on society and on politics. This whole anti-gay thing that comes right out of that church. I don't know. It's debatable how much power they really have, and I'm not really very knowledgeable.
Sorry, when you say anti-gay, how far anti-gay are they? Are they you can't marry, or you just can't be gay? will you get locked up? Is it that old?
Well, no, they used to be locked up. You're right, yeah, but now I think it's mostly the gay marriage, like that is a big no, and that is mostly caused by religion. But the thing is, like, most of the people who point their finger and at that, especially people in America. Well, in America, people have to remember also that is also very new over there. It's just like a 5-year-old issue. It just kind of took off, like, astronomically. But up to that point, they were pretty anti-gay too, everywhere. Anti-drugs too, which again now is more opening up. But countries change. It takes time. Some countries take longer than others.
It's funny. Last night I was watching a great Ricky Gervais comedy show, and He explained it so well when he said, in California, you can't be married if you're gay. You can't be married, but you can do everything.
Yeah.
You can actually do everything.
Yeah.
What
freedom.
you mean like that? Oh yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, do that, but don't be married.
Right.
What you mean? I can? Oh yeah, go for your life. What? But I can't be? No.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. But anyway.
Yeah. Well, actually, yeah. Just jumping on to that. Usually, religious people say like, well, we're against gay marriage because it will destroy the very fabric of marriage and
the religion, the book.
The book.
Yeah, the book.
That book. That one book. So at the beginning of the show, I have this quote in the intro. It's from a writer called George Gordon Byron, and he basically says, like, those who will not reason are bigots, those who cannot are fools, and those who dare not are slaves. Well, pretty accurate, I have to say. There's Sam Harris who said other quotes. He said, if someone doesn't value evidence, what evidence are you going to provide that proves they should value evidence? And in the same kind of rhetoric, if someone doesn't value logic, what logical argument would you invoke to prove they should value logic? So, I don't know. Any comments on that one?
Well, what would you say?
I think it's pretty straightforward.
Let's talk about the first bit. Those who will not reason.
Yes, yes. So what some... that first one you mean, yeah. So do you have any comments on that one?
First of all, I'm not here to cause any hate myself. I have Christian friends and they do reason all the time. So this is a fairly hardcore bit of script here, but it is basically highlights for me that if your mind isn't free, if you haven't worked out what is kind of normal in life, and that everyone has a religion perhaps, or some people don't have a religion, and if you aren't free to reason with that idea, then you're no better than anyone else causing hate. So would you agree?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Yeah, I think the thing like I said before is that I don't dislike religious people unless they, of course, start Bible quoting all the time. But what I really do dislike is the church institution. And a lot of religious people in America, they immediately also say like, well, excuse me, but the church and me, we're different. Yeah, we're both Christians, but what the church's agenda is not what we agree to. A lot of Christians are okay with gay marriage, for example, but their voice kind of gets under everything because it gets just washed away by what the church is saying, not the individuals themselves.
That's true. It depends on the particular church, the particular pastor.
Yeah.
They're all, in my opinion, they're all teams and tribes in everything in life, and people need to feel like they're in that kind of thing. So when they go to their church on Sunday, they would find a real community in that group. So it would really depend on which one you drove to that first day, or which one your mum and dad thought was a good group of people.
Yeah.
Turns out they hate gay people.
Yeah.
So
Oops.
You might go, I personally, my reasonable mind says that's bad. but I'm in this team.
Yep.
And that's where it goes all a
Yep.
little bit crazy. It's probably why you started this show, JC, I imagine.
Yep.
What's some more things you would like to say?
No, I think you said I think you said it all about that. I think it's also like those people who, like you said, so they look at the gay marriage thing, for example, and maybe deep down in themselves they think like, well, actually I'm for it, but my family is against it. But they don't want to disappoint their family. That's the thing. And so basically they're not free to really express, I think, what they feel, because they will upset aunt or uncle or obviously parents. There are many families out there in the world where if you come to your dad, and let's say like it's a religious family, and you go to your dad and you say like, well, like, Dad, I'm an atheist, they just completely, you're not my son anymore, you're not my daughter anymore, like, you're on your own now. So that kind of treatment I don't agree with at all.
That's unreligious.
Exactly.
Where's the good in that?
Yep.
Like we're saying off camera, there is a good and bad in every single thing. It's a Buddhist. We are in Japan.
Yep.
I don't know much about the Shinto religion or the Buddhist religion, but I do kind of think they don't even call it an ideology, right?
Yeah.
Or to my simple Australian mind,
Yeah.
it's just balance. There's good and bad. There's positive and negative.
Yeah, like the yin and yang.
Yeah, and there's no need to have rules if you live your life properly,
Yep.
and you will find those things fairly easily. I like to drink,
Yep.
but I know if I have too many drinks,
Yeah,
I'll be an
bad.
idiot and I'll upset my wife.
Yeah.
I don't want that to happen. That's negative.
Yeah.
So to live a positive, balanced life, so I think the Buddhists worked it all out.
Well, to a certain extent, yeah.
There's no one to, no physical, apart from Buddha.
Yeah.
I wish I knew more to even speak of this, but
Yeah.
even the Buddhists have some problems in Thailand, I believe.
They do, yeah.
Because they formed a little tribe and
Yep.
they're trying to get the is it the Christians and the Muslims out?
Yes,
but
yes.
they are hating and killing just as much. So there's lies the answer.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and the thing is, like, so a lot of religious people kind of assume that if you become an atheist, you also associate yourself immediately. You basically automatically become this non-violent pacifist person, and that is just not true. That is just a myth that atheists like to kind of spread. But most atheists, though, know that it's just a myth. I mean, we're just people, like you said. People are people. We all do bad things from time to time. Some things are worse than others, and that's all. It's not like the book, the Bible prevents you from committing sin. It tells you it's bad, but it has no mechanism to actually stop you. So, I don't know, what would you think about that?
You made me think just now, are you, to be even called an atheist is unless you're a militant atheist,
Yeah.
and you're on YouTube and you're spreading your own hate just for your own trolling, you were born an atheist.
Yeah.
Just say you didn't have any parents at all and you were raised by wolves. Would you naturally think of God, is my question to myself. I think you are just raised to believe all these stories and all these things. So to be called an atheist, we're all atheists. Other people have chosen to become religious and Christian. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think so. And the thing is, like, so religious people often say, like, well, actually, no, we're born religious. The reason they say that is because they believe in this whole God created us thing. So in that, and they say, like, well, we know God because God is already inside us. Yeah, show me the evidence. Show me the proof of that, and I will believe. I'm open-minded. I don't know. I don't know how the universe was created exactly. Of course, the Big Bang Theory is kind of widely accepted, but, you know, it could turn out to be a bit wrong, perhaps. Who knows? But it's better to not know than to just assume that, well, God did it. That's easy.
Yeah.
That's easy.
That's right. And to assume that anyone who doesn't believe in your beliefs is an infidel.
Yep.
And or anyone who disagrees with this church's rules will be shunned from this and go to hell.
Yep.
So it's just not reasonable.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah,
reasonable,
exactly.
and it's negative.
Yeah.
You know, again, all my Christian friends, all my religious friends are probably the sweetest, most caring people there are, to be honest with you. They do great things, deliver fruit, they do community and charity-based things that I've seen personally. So I think it's good and it's needed for some people. My own personal thought is, whoa, was that person very bad? And they needed these rules to stay good, or were they just born into it and this is the way it happens for them personally? And what do they think of me?
Yeah.
You know, yeah. What do they think of me?
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing comes back to, you know, like, obviously religion is usually spread at a very young age, when kids are 4, 5, 6 years old. At that age, you can't reason. You're basically just a baby. Especially, and who's the authority when you're a kid? Your parents, of course. Mom and dad, right? Sometimes grandmother too. And that authority just kind of brainwashes you from this young age, and you just kind of grow up with that. And
Yeah.
but the thing is, like, there's a lot of, I know many, like, you know, religious people who even were pastors, actual pastors, for a long time. They are now atheists because they just realized that it just doesn't work. Prayer doesn't work. The stories have a lot of contradictions. The Bible is full of contradictions, by the way. And of course, well, I mean, you know, that's it. I mean,
Yeah, well, some people turn to religion when things turn very bad in their life. Someone dies and things like this. So some people get upset with religion too when they've turned to religion, and then yet people keep dying in their family.
Yeah.
They sometimes give up and lose faith in what gave them faith. I just don't think you even need that. I think you're using it as a crutch, creating your own problems if you just do your best in this one life that you know exists.
You just have to make the most of it.
To make the most of it.
Yep.
You know, that I personally lived with a girlfriend who was it was very bad. It was very bad, and I've never been religious. I've been to church 10 times in my life, and thought it was just a bit of a showbiz thing, and a bit of community sort of stuff. But it didn't latch on to me. But I lived with a girl for a few years, and she was very, very wild, and I didn't know any better, and I followed her. But I knew deep down that the things we were doing were just negative, very negative. And 1 year went by, things got worse. 18 months, things started to happen that were very, very crazy and very bad. But I turned to myself and went, I know what's happened. I'm actually living in hell. All this book stuff is all based on this weird idea. But basically, I'm living this hell because I've let these negatives control me for 2 years, and I need to get back to the positives. And I did. And I don't think, and I'm hopeful that most people have that in them to know what's positive and negative, and they can just follow the positive, instinctively.
Yeah.
You know, there's what are the big evils? Money. And it's in the Bible again? Is that the 7 deadly sins?
Yep, of course.
You know, they, and everyone knows that, I'm sure. You can take money from someone.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, I can't remember all the 7 actually right now. I mean, Lust is one
Brad
of them.
Pitt.
Yeah, 7. The movie 7. Yeah, that's a great movie, by the way. Very, very sick one.
Okay,
but
let's try and work them out. There was Sloth.
There was sloth. There was lust for sure.
Lust, okay.
Greed.
Greed. What's sloth? Is that being lazy and...
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one.
Lust.
Yep.
Can't have too much of that, kids.
Yeah.
There was greed.
Greed.
Well, they're all obvious.
Yeah.
Let's not forget any.
Yeah. And the thing is like, you know, it's not like those rules really kind of. I mean, sure, they scare some people off because of the threat of hell. So if you do any of those, actually, you'll go to hell, right? And remember again, that's the thing they teach to kids at that age. So right from pretty much
Fear.
the first moment that you can actually kind of think, you are immediately afraid of hell, and you live with that for some people live with that forever.
Yeah.
So
Live in fear.
Yeah. So, well, we will probably do like half an hour show today. I just want to go into some of the things that people say about atheists, and I want to just kind of debunk some of them. Well, for example, let's say I know God is real. Okay, well, most religious people say that, but what is the evidence? What evidence can you provide to us atheists to prove that he's real? And usually in the debates it becomes like the burden of proof is on them, because they're the believers, so they have to convince us of that thing. So the burden of proof is on them. They like to shift that burden of proof all the time. But yeah, give me evidence, give me proof, and I will try to believe, or I will believe actually, if it's something really material. The thing they say always is that, well, we weren't there when Jesus was alive, supposedly. And then they say that, well, we know this painting is here. The painter might be dead for 200 years or something. We haven't met him ever, but the painting is there. And they say the same thing about religion. So the world is there, but God is not. And they just make this argument, but it's not a very good one, because the painting has a creator. The creator, that painter, had a creator himself, his parents, right? So if God is some kind of material being, who is the creator? That would be my question to them. Never gets answered. So I don't know.
Well, how about, what have we got? Atheists don't have a moral code. I guess we just skipped on that.
Yeah.
We just said that. But what about, I'll pray for you.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think about that? I think it doesn't, thanks, but
Maybe I shouldn't have done that in the first place, or
Yeah.
that thing that, I'll skip that. How about, atheists' lives are bleak and lack meaning.
interesting. That they often use that one. Yeah. Well, what do you think about it? Because obviously many kind of
Well, I just don't think of
Religion.
religion that much. It's my life is full because there isn't something I'm thinking about every day, or because I went to church on Sunday, I'm not constantly reminded of that. I'm reminded of things I like. Am I wrong to think that your mind is filled with, say, 8 different things? Perhaps religion is one, and in some people, mine is filled with something else. It's not bleak at all. It's very full, and to think that it's missing that religion that everyone thinks about, it's just that you're thinking about it.
Yeah. Well, like in Japan, for example, since we're here, there's a lot of suicides, for example. It happens all the time. People jump in front of the train or something. Japan is pretty secular, but the thing is, like, they don't commit suicide because of lack of faith. I think they commit suicide because of just the life situations, the tough job, asshole boss, maybe no friends, perhaps. These are life things. They have nothing to do with lack of faith at all, in my opinion.
Well, there's they say in places like Africa where it seems fairly miserable.
Yeah.
There isn't a lot of
there isn't much to cling on to there, and so religion is pretty huge in Africa. I mean,
oh God, I'm having such a mental break right now. I really am. You're like, this isn't live, right?
it's recorded.
It's recorded, yeah, but you'll have to cut this out. What's the word where you jump in front of a bus? We were just speaking about
Suicide.
it. Suicide. In Africa, where you struggle to carry water for 5 kilometres every day
Yep.
just to get water, I've heard the suicide rate is almost nothing.
Yep.
People, it's a natural trait to fight to survive.
Yeah, survival, yeah.
So in Australia, where life's fairly easy, and I'm not so sure about Japan yet, but that as a man, we're meant to be looking for our food. Perhaps we come from this. I need to survive.
Yep.
It's gone. It's very easy, and you can get those suicidal thoughts now and then. And I think that's where perhaps it comes in. It's nothing to do with religion.
No,
from my
that's
point of
the
view, it's got
thing.
nothing to do with religion. It's got to do with the need to survive.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, there are people in Africa with dying of AIDS who aren't killing themselves. You know,
Exactly.
It's well mentioned.
Yeah, and actually in Africa there was this story, and we have to wrap actually, but there was this story. The previous pope, I think, went there to some country where AIDS is like just the #1 killer, and he told people that condoms are bad and they shouldn't use them because it's against the natural reproduction thing. And guess what? Of course, the AIDS rate just jumped up. Of course. So that kind of stuff I'm against. I'm not against like specific religious people, but against the institution.
Yeah.
That I'm against. So anyway, we have to wrap soon. So next week I'm actually gonna try to do a special episode about nature conservation. That might be interesting. I don't know much about it, but we'll see. I might have a specialist coming here to talk about it. And it might be just a half and half, some of the stuff we talked about and expanding with her stories, so it might be interesting.
Well, thank you for letting me on your show.
Yeah.
I've had a good time. I've bumbled through some things. It's
for
only my
sure.
personal opinion. I have some good Christian friends, and I don't want to upset them in any way. They're good people.
Yep.
I'm just talking about
Just in general.
some of
Yeah.
the things. So I wish you well on your show.
Yep.
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi from Japan.
All right. See you next week.